Can you hear me? There'll be a delay. Take a delay before it goes through. Um, you should be kind of quiet. I'm kind of not right by the mic. Nothing? I can see my bars moving. I have no way of seeing over here. Okay. Can you hear me? I don't know how long of a delay there will be. It's so annoying. Okay. I'm not sure. I think it says there's 4 people. 3 concurrent? Okay. All right. Are we ready? It's 10 o'clock. Let's do this. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and here we are once again with the whole big project here. Let's get rid of the name overlay. You guys know who I am, right? Um, this has been pretty exciting this week. I've been adding more string and finally got through all of the string I cut up. So originally, when I was starting this project, I cut 20 skeins of the 4 colors that are used the least, like the white and the yellow. And then the blue and the orange, there was 40 skeins. Obviously, I had to cut twice as much, right? So there were 40 skeins of that. This now represents having done all of it. All of that string is on here, which means there is, check my notes, 480 individual strings or 160 skeins worth of embroidery floss here so far. So that's where we are as far as string goes. This is, if not already my biggest project ever, it will be, because this is 5 segments, and I'm counting a segment as from where the designs repeat themselves, which is like 6 of these squares. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's this one and that one are the same. So it's already done 5, and that means I have like 4 more to go, right? So yeah, this is huge, and it's been keeping me really busy. And now I actually have, after I finish this row and this row here, I have to have more cut string, which this is literally, it takes hours and hours to perform. So that's not fun at all. And in fact, it really is. It's like my least favorite part of bracelet making. So, um, I'd like to know, like, you guys, I see there's people watching. Who's out there? What time zone are you in? Say hello. Um, Makes it a whole lot more fun for me if I like have people to chat with. Um, so as you can see, I'm kind of still gonna try to get some work done, even though I'm like busy talking with you guys. This square, I can look over at the other side, is same as this one. Easy peasy. Okay, so, oh, I was going to show you this. So the rows, there are 2 basic rows that go on with this design. And what kind of makes them different is the way that the strings are laid out. Now, let me just show you. To go ahead and have so many different things and know that the strings will be okay, because I didn't make this any more complicated than need be, right? So the top row and the second row are very, very different, but each time it goes, from the bottom row, the next row is just gonna be like the top one. And it doesn't matter where I am in the whole thing. The strings are basically all laid out in the same sequence. So that was kind of important to give it a complicated, but not too complicated, if you understand the gist there. Basically, it allows me so that way this is number 6, right? So underneath number 6 will be a number 2, then a number 4, and then number 6 again. And that kind of mixing it up is what gives it this unique pattern like thing. I can show you. Here's a picture. It should be sound. I tested earlier, no? Oh, so yeah, that was my picture from yesterday. Apparently, my wife just said there was no sound on when I was doing that. Sorry about that. So that was my picture from yesterday. You can see that the pattern makes it, it repeats, but not overly. Like if I had the same pattern coming straight down in a straight row, I don't think this project would have been anywhere near as cool. Oh, I almost did that backwards. There we go. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, just, hit it in the chat. I'm got my wife helping me to kind of watch for the comments, because otherwise I end up paying all my attention to the strings. And yeah, I can miss out on that big time. So, I really wanted to show off the image I took last night. Mind you, that was no easy feat. Getting that photograph meant unclipping everything and getting all of there's like a ton of string, because like I said before, there's like 480 strings on here so far. So there's a ton of string that's kind of wraps around the back of this board, and getting all of that, making sure it doesn't get all tangled up or whatever. Yeah, that was a bit of a chore there. Let's see. That's really weird. I don't know why there's no sound when I do that. All right, so it's this one. Ah. So if you're out there, say hello. No need to hide. I'm really curious what time zones, because I've been kind of worried about the whole choosing this hour of night to do my videos, because I know that it's really early in the USA, and it's kind of well, it's really late here in Singapore. But the reality is my father-in-law has Alzheimer's, and it's not easy to be able to deal with what kind of problems might arise during the day. He's been having problems even coming home early from daycare, because he's just having a difficult time with life in general. He's almost blind. He's losing his memory, losing touch with a lot of things. So it's just easier. By this time of night, he's already in bed, and kind of frees me up to be able to do this. But I am kind of curious, like what time zones are tuning in, and kind of what would be the best time for you guys, right? So, all right. So one of the things I also know is that if we look at the length of the strings that are down here, down at the bottom, they are getting really, really short. So I'm going to have to add string once I get all of this added on. It's going to be one of like the next things I have to actually do. Hello. What's the name? Amaris. Hello, Amaris. What time zone are you in? I'm super curious. You don't have to like tell me your address or anything. I'm just wondering what time it is. No, I'm super stoked about this. This is definitely turning out pretty amazing. And sometimes I don't even realize like how amazing until like I pulled it out and like took a photo of it and I'm like, wow, it's so big. It's going to be amazing.
From the Gothic Silent
The Gothic Silent Lamb. Oh, that's an awesome name. Hello. That's that's awesome. So hey hey man. Thank you. Yeah. Wait. You see wow for that. Wait, let me show you the picture. Okay, so that gives you an idea how big it already is. Because you can only see so much. I can't, like, if I panned out backwards, that would be Pacific Standard. Oh, it must be really early. Holy cow. Um, Pacific, that's, let's see. Okay, so I know that the time here, which it's just after 10, that's, that it's basically 10 o'clock in, like, New York and the East Coast and stuff. But Pacific, that's got to be super early. Wow, good morning. Yeah, that's why I was thinking too that instead of doing this on my Friday nights, doing it on a Saturday instead, because that way um people could watch it, you know, if they don't have to be like worried about school or work or whatever. So early birds get the worm, but worms are gross and so is mornings. So I'm not not a fan of early stuff. But I'm glad you are because you know you're here and you're joining in and this is fun. I'm just not sure why the sound wasn't working when I show the images, but that's okay. So there is, let's see. I was saying before, 480 strings so far. So I measured it and it's 79 cm. And for the Americans, that would be 31 inches. So I'm just 5 inches short of a yard, which is pretty big. This is definitely. Now I don't have quite the framework plan like figured out yet. I know that there used to be these frames over at IKEA is kind of how I want to do this, where basically a piece of glass like clips over the front of it. Um, but I don't know where I'm going to have to go to get that done to make this work. But that's the hope is that I can figure that out, make it happen. Should be kind of exciting.
Mary says, your bags amazing. And here comes.
Oh, Rainbow Hayes has made it here too. Yay. Oh, and thank you about the bags, Amaris. Yes, oh, that's what a perfect lead in. Okay. Um, my shop, akaawol.com/shop, I have a sale going on right now because the reason why this whole video actually looks halfway decent is because I had to go and purchase a new computer. The old computer and the camera that used to be right where you're at um, completely just gave up on me last week. And so over at akawl.com, there's a sale going on. It's on everything. If you like the bags, get one now because this will be, you know, a chance to get it at a discount and help me recoup the cost of it. I was not planning on getting a new computer. Mind you, I do have to say thank you to Patreons, my Patreon supporters. Quite literally, you guys bought this camera. Um, when I bought it for the purpose of it was the least expensive 4K camera that I could get. And now I have to use it as my facing me camera because the other one is completely fried. So if not for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. So thank you to my Patreon supporters, just like Rainbow Haze over there. If you guys aren't familiar with Rainbow Haze, go check her out on Instagram. She's got tons of bracelets, and she's definitely like a master of the whole making friendships bracelets stuff. So you should go check her out over on Instagram, and then from there you can find all the rest of her stuff. So yay. Yay for new computer. Yes. Yes, absolutely yay for new computer. I was so frustrated last week. I was ready for, sit down, have an awesome time, whatever. And no matter what I did, I had rebooted the computer. I'd done everything like to try to free up as much memory, and it just wasn't going to have it. It was just absolutely a fail. So, yes, I am back with a new machine. Um, Basically, it's a low end gamer laptop, so it's kind of made for video graphic stuff, which essentially that's what this is. So hopefully this lasts me many years because I don't want to spend more money on this stuff. Uh, so all right. Oh, so okay. Off to the side here, what you can't see is there is a clip holding this board to my easel, and that clip has these things. So I can tuck that string in behind that top part of the clip, and that keeps it so that way, because I won't be tying any of these strings up here anytime soon, right? So that means I just need like these ones to work on. And there's this clip is off to the other side, and all of these strings here will then kind of tuck around it, and that gives me just one little area to concentrate on at a time. And by doing this, it makes it so that way a giant project like this can be kind of figured out, like how to just work on one area and not get all your strings all like in your lap or in a bunch, because you don't like around here we don't like our strings to get in a bunch, right? Awesome. So I know Rainbow Haze is out of England, which what time is it in England? It's like a 6 hour thing, 7 hour, something like that. What about the rest of you guys? What kind of awesome. All right, so I finished a square. Yay. I can relate to being afraid of messing something up, but you don't. Okay, so this pattern was deliberately made to be a little bit more complex than anything I've ever done. But if you want to start on something big, you don't have to start with the most complicated thing possible. This pattern right here, super easy. You could probably kick out something like this. It's because it's a real segmented thing. It would be fast and relatively easy, and the pattern is relatively simple. Um, Maybe start out with something like that before diving into something too huge. Yeah, the Gothic. I don't. I think I would have remembered your name if you ever made it to the stream. So yes, I'm glad. In Canada, very cool. Right across the border from where I grew up. I grew up in Detroit area. Came over to Canada many times to watch the fireworks because it's kind of cool from your side, and people are just generally just a little bit nicer. Sorry, America, but your neighbors to the north just a little bit better. And the Mandy Lim who is replying to you guys, that is my wife over there. She is busy on the little computer, making sure like if I'm having technical difficulties, which apparently I am when it comes to sharing the photo I took last night, but um, kind of not a good time to try to troubleshoot that at the moment. All right. This is this one, right? This, yeah. Oh, this is like one of my least favorite squares to make. So far in this whole process, I've gotten to the point where I can just look at the squares and figure out based on the previous ones, like the one next to this is this, which means that these two are the same, this two is the same, so that means obviously this one is here. But some of the squares, I don't like making them as much. They're just a little bit more finicky. This is one of the more finicky ones. What's that? It's where when I catch, usually. Oh no, you get migraine. Oh right, that's unfortunate. I know I used to get migraines a lot. I'm not sure that I ever figured out what caused them, but they kind of stopped already. But I remember that's not good. Okay, so good. Take a poll both here and Insta story into the sand. Yeah, Rainbow Haze messaged me yesterday like, "I'm ready for the thing." I'm like, "But it's Friday." I I do it on Saturdays for the live stream. Fridays are my days for posting when I post the non-live kind of stuff, which basically I haven't been doing mostly because nobody's offered up any kind of ideas as to what they want to learn or whatever. And I kind of feel like I did most of my knowledge is kind of out there in the videos that I've already made, but maybe not. Like if you guys like ask a question, then I can be like, oh, okay, maybe I didn't do that, and then I can make a video. But right now I have no idea what I should be making. Like, does that make sense? I'm I'm kind of confused. If there's something that you guys are, struggling with a pattern design, you saw a picture, you want me to help you figure it out, yeah, we can do all that. Or you have other ideas or problems you're having, we can do that. Um, but yeah, so far, like people that have been asking me questions, I can point them right to a video that's I've already done. So I probably not helping myself in that aspect, you know, as far as like getting more videos out, but I kind of feel like, you know, for the people who've been watching all of the videos so far, like it's kind of be weird to kind of like rehash the same stuff, if that makes sense. So trying to keep it original. Not very easy, but trying to. But yeah, with the new computer, hopefully then I can also do some more in the videos and stuff as well. That's kind of like a big hope. Ah, how many cats? Is, I see plural. Three cats? Okay, burnout, lack of motivation. That's okay. So I kind of been becoming more open about the whole ADHD thing. I have ADHD and it's a real problem for me. And I know that a typical ADHD person will basically get into a project like this and throw their hands up in the air and be like, that's it, I can't do it. For me, I I have been truly poor. And back when I could barely even afford to get embroidery floss, um, I realized the importance of following through with a project before starting something else. So, in order for me to really start on something else, um, I have to have this thing done first. And as much as, you know, like I use that excitement of a new project as a driving force to how I stay focused on this. Does that make sense? So, yeah, so there's two reasons why I would put this aside and work on something else at the moment. One is if I was going to try to make a video to explain how to do something, or two, which is a possibility because somebody's been in contact with me about a custom work. Um, if they come through and say they agree, they like the colors, they're going to do it, then I will have a video on something else I'm working on because the prospect of doing something and getting paid for it is so great. So yeah, if that goes through, you guys will get to see how a 2 meter long, and again, for Americans, the conversion there is I'm 6'4" and 2 meters is just over my head, right? So I'm going to make a 2 meter long, essentially a bracelet, like a bracelet width, nothing crazy wide, just super long. And I'm really kind of hoping this person comes through with this, you know, like that she wants the job done because I think it just sounds like an amazing um, thing to try to do. Like it's just it'll be such a challenge, and I'm really kind of curious as to how long something like that will actually take me. So there's that. Oh, in case you guys missed it earlier, I was talking about the fact that this used up all the strings that I cut, which was I cut 160 skeins so that way I'd have a jump on it, and this is what 160 skeins looks like. So lose audio here when I fade over, but take a look at. So that's 160 skeins right there in a working thing. So the light blues are really close to being like shot, so they're all going to have to be added here. And I am slightly concerned that maybe when I ordered the string, I might not have ordered enough, but that's okay. My supplier is pretty cool, gets here pretty quick. So yeah, that's fortunate because I know that some people like, well, like Rainbow Haze has that whole European shopping thing where sometimes it takes a lot longer to get the string to her. So three cats. Yeah, I love cats. We have many that live around the block around here who, are all kinds of affectionate and everything. I don't I don't think I could have a cat with as much string as I have laying around. Not that I don't love the animals, I think I think they would just make me continuously nervous, and I would also not want like a ton of cat hairs ending up in my projects. I mean, I'm sure most people wouldn't like freak out about it, but yeah, I think that would be I don't know. I kudos to cat owners, but I think for me I'd have to not. No pun intended. Ah, yeah. It's been a long day. I'm getting a little sleep crazy. When you say massive string, how much string? Yeah, my one from AliExpress, it takes, yeah, probably 10 days. It's probably like that. Maybe even a little bit less here. It's called the Factory Shop. Uh, Silly name, but whatever. They are where all this string came from. So yeah. So by talking about how much it costs, like if she's using DMC, then spending a grand is easy. That's nothing to it. I had 8 kg of string delivered here not that long ago, and well, hang on. Okay, Google, what's 8 kg in standard measurement?
Sorry, I don't have any information about that.
Okay, Google, how much is 8 kg in pounds? And she ignored me. That's not great. Okay, Google, how much is 8 kg in pounds?
8 kilograms is 17.637 pounds.
17,
Multiply
17 pounds. 17 pounds of string. So, but because I'm ordering from China, um, nowhere near $1,000. Nowhere near. And people who swear by DMC, mind you, if DMC wants to give me like a sponsorship and like give me fantastic prices or something, I'm all for it. But I guarantee you that my 17 pounds of floss would have been $1,000 or more if I had went with DMC because their prices are ridiculous. I'm sorry. It's just string, and I don't see how over the years it's escalated in price so much. But yeah, it's probably just because they're a fancy brand name. So yeah. Yeah, Google doesn't even want to do standard anymore. I hear you. That's Google. Google gave me that look. Huh? Why would you want to know that? That's awesome. All right. So now let's see. Where am I? From that one? No. This one to this one. All right. Okay. So, oh, another thing. The last live video a few weeks ago, I was talking about if I only got one row at a time done per day, that's at least it's progress, right? staying with it, just doing a little bit at any given point, at least is progress. But when I counted out how many more diamonds need to go on here, which was like 30 at the time, which I think we're now down to like 27 more. And then you have to count in the extra days that it takes to actually get the string onto it. I was realizing this was going to take me longer than a month just to be able to pull that off. And I'm like, that's insane. I can't do it. I can't. It'll. So I basically stepped up my effort and doing the best I can to try to finish as many rows as possible. That's why I figured I'd keep working while talking to you guys. Is I need to get more of this done, so that way we can get on to showing how like the rest of the part goes. Like how am I going to add string, and how am I, how is the whole rest of this thing going to work out? Mind you, that's even like the least of my problem. Adding string is like something I've done before. The big thing is right behind this board here, there is just a ton of floss. Like I can't even express like just how much string is laying there. And that's just going to get more and more and more as I add on more segments. So trying to keep all of that organized, that's going to be a job. And as I overcome these problems, then obviously I'll be sharing with you guys like how I overcome these problems. So that is what it is.
Perfect silence then.
Yes, crochet string works. I believe it's the size 5 that is basically the same as doing the embroidery floss. It totally works. Actually, you know whose Rainbow Shop uses a lot of that kind of string. So is it size 5? I think I want to think it's size 5. Anyways, yes, there are a lot of other ones that can work. The only one that really doesn't work well is yarn. Yarn, when you pull it tight, it can break, so that's no good. Yes.
Walnut. Which clearance sale.
Yeah. If you got a clearance sale on that stuff, yeah, I would say you could probably do well by grabbing up a ton of it. Mind you, mixing strings can be a problem. An easy way to tell if it'll be a problem or not is to do a bracelet. Well, how many ever strings, whatever pattern, doesn't matter, right? But just do the same pattern and the same number of strings with your new stuff, right? And then lay the two together, right? If they're the same size, then you can mix the strings together, no problem. But there's a good chance that one will be wider than the other. And then if that's the case, that means that one string is bigger than the other. And what that will mean is that as you tie knots, the whole thing gets all wavy, wonky, no good. So yeah, that's easy way of testing it out. It's not something, it's not rocket science or anything, but it can make a big difference. And, let's face it, you don't want to spoil a project that you're excited about. So that's how you find out. Ooh, Hobby Lobby, ooh. They're I get that they're like a cool store for crafts and stuff, but I've just heard like so many bad stories about like how they've lobbied Congress and stuff. So, but yes, I'm sure their prices are awesome, and that's it is what it is. I'm not sure if I've tried that brand. What is it? Pertra? Petra? Yeah, right. So I was mentioning like this string here, right? So this string, when bought in bulk, um, comes out really cheap. It's like less than 10 cents each. So, which is, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are paying for floss in your areas, but um, compared to locally, it's on sale for $1 each. So 10 cents seems like ridiculously cheap. The big difference is that this is thicker. It's you can't it doesn't feel thicker, but if you put two bracelets side by side, um, there is a distinct difference. And if you're making a bag or something, you'll definitely see it there. Which, to this credit, is good when you're making something big like a bag. Being able to have it end up being larger just by default is kind of a bonus, right? So doesn't bother me one iota. But if you're into trying to make little fine bracelets, little fiddly things and stuff, then I can see why DMC would be a thing. Or if you're doing like the embroidery, actual embroidery, I could see why you might want to have something a little bit smaller. But for what I do, this stuff is awesome. It's so durable, it's so thick, and yeah, it's awesome. Right. Yeah, if it's the only place that you can have to get string, I totally get it. I'm not gonna fault people for, you know, like back when I was first doing bracelets, the only place to get embroidery floss was Kmart. So that was sort of my like where I went, and there was a choice. You could either get the Kmart brand, which was like really cheap, or you could get DMC, which they also had, which was more. It was like the difference was like 15 cents or 25 cents. And I often got the cheaper stuff just because I was going through so much string. Hang on. Ah. So I got me a water bottle so that way I'm not like drinking branded stuff, but check it out. Yeah, that's a good drink. Let's see what's chat looks like it's active here. What's going on? Uh, coffin shape. Now that's fun. Oh, how are you making like so the base of it will be the what gives it the shape? I'm trying to picture like because most of my bags are either round or flat. I'm trying to picture how you can do a coffin shape. That's fascinating. Uh, hey, I never told Google that this was a for children video, so it's not a problem, right? We're all grown-ups around here. Well, you guys are. I don't know about myself. Ah. No. So this is pretty awesome. The video has been going for almost 45 minutes now, and it does not appear to be lagging. The computer is not complaining. This is good. I'm happy. There we go. The front and the back panels. Okay, so you totally have to add a link to your Instagram so I can check this out. So you definitely got my curiosity going. I definitely want to see this bag. I I absolutely love Ingenuity, and that's why I like explain all of the things like how this whole bracelet thing works. Not because I want you guys to do exactly like what I've done, but if you can like understand the process of like how I came up with it or what my thought process was in making it, then you can take that information and then you guys can run with it. So that's my hope. I just want to provide the inspiration. I'm not trying to. That's what I want to teach. I want to teach how to be creative, and it looks like to me you've already come up with something brilliant. I'm really, that's way cool. Oh, and for anybody that's interested who hasn't figured it out already, my Instagram is aka AWOL, same as what this YouTube channel is. And in fact, if you go to akaawol.com, that's also me. If you Google akaawol, quite a few of those are mine. Not everybody, I don't know why, but yes. You guys are funny. It's nice. I got to tell you guys, I really appreciate all of the contribution, the comments, and all that. It definitely makes doing what I do a lot more enjoyable to know that there are people out there. Sometimes when I just do the regular videos, I don't get the the instant feedback, and it kind of feels like I'm just shouting into the void. But this is a lot nicer. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, 16 years old with 20 years of bracelet experience. How does that work out? That's true. You do say that. Oh, so okay, earlier I was talking about, and apparently the sound went out. I was talking about how the two different rows go. So this we call this the top row and this the second row. The top row is dark blue, orange, dark blue, and then white, right? Then the next row is orange, red, yellow, and it's the same all the way across. That's why I can actually change up the pattern no problem, as long as this one ends, leaving the strings ready for this one to start, and then where this one ends makes for this one to start. And an interesting thing, like a little phenomenon came. So this is the number 6. This is in how I have it drawn out. This particular whatever is number 6. Directly below it is the number 2, and below that is the number 4. So that repeats again and again and again. Now here's something I think is interesting. This row will repeat every, like, here it is again, 3 over, right? What turns out is there's like, so this one starts on a, what is this? 6, 5, 4, 3. Starts on a no, 6, 5, 4, 3. Yeah. So 3, then a 6, then 3 and 6. But then a couple rows over, it starts on a 6, then the 3, 6, then 3, 6, and 3. So basically, once you kind of get the gist of what the 3 different rows are, that's all there is to it. There's 3 different rows just repeating themselves, just and starting off at a different point. So what looks super complicated becomes a whole lot easier. And I know that that's like a crazy observation, and it's probably like over a lot of beginners' heads. But if you're advanced enough, you've been playing with patterns enough, that should make kind of sense. And I think it's fascinating. I think personally, I was like, oh, right. I see. So yeah. And to me, it was no point in trying to name them. It's just, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just easier to give it a number. Like I could try to come up with a clever name, like that's like a shield, and this is the white X, and then there's the orange X or whatever. But numerically, it makes sense, because when I'm trying to figure out where on the paper I was, I had them all lined up 6 in a row, and that's how I did it. So that's why they're numbered. And then their counterpart is just the one that's below it. So that way, because this one will always follow after there. It's right here, right? Same. And right here, same. Right? So the counterparts are always going to be the counterparts. The correlation between them always stays the same. And that's the difference between like having a complex pattern and making it just random. If these things just went all over the place, I think it would be less enticing. You wouldn't be drawn in nearly as much. And this goes back to like where the inspiration was, right? Like this is similar to like the tiles on the mosque in Iran, and similar colors, similar kind of shapes. Well, mind you, theirs was like more octagon, but I can't do octagons in bracelet, so I went with diamonds instead. But I think you want to have it complex enough that it's intriguing, not too complex that it makes it like impossible to do. Like if you have to keep taking knots out because you made it so crazy that you just can't keep up with it, that's no good. All right. So like I say, if you want to start out with something more like this because you're comfortable with it, that's a great way to start. Get your confidence, get your build on, and then go from there. And if you're like, after this is my wall hanging, afterwards I'm going to make pillows. So maybe you're not ready to do your wall hanging, but maybe you could make yourself a throw pillow to put out on the couch or something. If my bracelets, right? If my bracelets can last for 6 years on my wrist, can you imagine how, and that's every day, through the shower, through the mud, through everything else, can last 6 years. Imagine how long a pillow on the couch is going to be, right? You're not hitting it up every single day. You're not doing anything too crazy. Well, I would imagine you're not doing anything too crazy with it. So if you are looking at your bracelets and thinking, hey, I want to do more, there's plenty of things. This is an eyeglass holder, right? It's all cotton, so it's not really going to scratch anything up. My mother-in-law carried this thing around proudly for quite a while. Sadly, she's suffered from a stroke that has left her to where we could no longer care for her anymore. She's in a nursing home now, and she doesn't need her glasses anymore, sadly enough. So I have it in here, and it's to remind me that I want to make this into a bag. I want to have like a great big one of these. Yes, I do plan on having it framed. I was talking about that earlier. There were these frames from IKEA where it's a flat piece of glass, and then what you put inside of it, and then a board, and like these little clips that went over it. That's the kind of frame that I want to use. But because it's so big, I'm not sure how that's going to pan out. I want it to happen. I'm just not sure how, or if I have to do something custom. And I have no idea what it's going to happen with the tassely bits. Um, I I kind of figure like I'll deal with that crisis when it comes. I was, yeah, I don't know. I do know that I didn't want it to be on a dowel of wood because this is canvas, right? This is heavy duty canvas, and I don't want to like lose the ability to throw it in the washing machine and getting it cleaned up because being on the wall for a long time, especially here, things tend to get like this black film on it, like it's a sticky, oily kind of thing. I don't know where it comes from or what it is, but it's not cool. And if you can just periodically be able to wash it, I think that would be awesome. Like I said, this stuff is like canvas, so like if you can wear something every day, then yeah. Speaking of bracelets, let me just quick throw this out here. So every month we do a giveaway over on Patreon, and this is the bracelet that's going to Helena. This is my playing with random and still, forming a pattern while still being as goofy and quirky as possible. So this is her bracelet. We do a monthly draw or something to that effect. It's every month there's a winner. This time it happened to be like whoever watched the video and said the thing that I put into the video, and Helena was there. She asked to be the winner, and so this is what she's getting. So if you haven't taken a look, I'm over on Patreon. Again, it's AKA Wall. You can help support the channel, like helping me to get gear. Like I said, Patreon people bought the camera that you're seeing me from. And since the cheaper, I used to have an old GoPro 3, I think it was a 3 Plus or something. Anyways, it just completely died last week. Like about 10 minutes after I stopped the stream, it suddenly it stopped working. And what it was is the battery expanded to the point to where it could no longer touch the terminals. And so, yeah, it's just since I had this camera, I swapped it up, and it turns out that I think the picture is actually a little bit better. I do notice that maybe I should do something about how. Here, let's do this right now. There, shift me up to the top because I noticed that my subscribe thing is sort of blocking part of the whole thing, which is weird. So, but yeah, Patreon supporters, you guys have been the best. You guys literally, you bought that camera for me. So, yeah, it's kind of hard between making bracelets and taking care of my in-laws. That's taking care of my wife. That's pretty much most of my day right there. So, it's kind of difficult. That's why I'm kind of like trying to do push the sale that I have going over at akaawol.com, is buying new computers and cameras and all this stuff. Yeah, it kind of adds up. And mind you, my YouTube channel isn't even monetized yet. I'm not even like to the halfway point. As far as like the number of watch hours and being able to have that monetized. So yeah, if you guys can help, then awesome. If you can't, I understand. I know that the whole pandemic thing has made it very difficult for a lot of people, and I get it. Just being here, sharing this with your friends, definitely thank you. So more fluids. We we should do a monthly thing where like come up with a drinking game or whatever. Fill up the bottle with adult beverage and see how far I can go without making a mistake. That would be fun for me. Probably be hilarious for you guys. So this is good. Like I've almost got this row completed. These 2 squares to go. Oh, that's cool. Next weekend, wipe up the live stream in the following. Yeah, I would like to see a lot more people come out to these things. I'm not sure. I did do a thing on Instagram, but I didn't have any like real good photos to work with. So I took a picture of the computer because like that's for me was the exciting part. But yeah, that didn't seem to work out great. It says that there's 6 people out there though, so there's a couple of you guys who are being quiet. Say hello. Tell us the time zone you're in. Ask a question. Have fun. But I agree, Rainbow. We need to get more people into these things, or at least find out like what time. Because I do notice that like a lot of my live videos get watched over like the course of the next couple days, kind of thing. So I'm not sure if maybe I'm just not choosing a good time of day, or I don't know. I really I have no idea. Thank you, Rainbow. You are the best. My strings are 1/3 of a skein, so 1/3 of 8 meters. Like that's the standard um, size of the strings. I have no idea what 1/3 of 8 is. I can't do that kind of math in my head. But I cut my strings into thirds. So I have a video on that too, by the way, like how to cut it in thirds. You basically you take the 2 ends and you put it together so it's in half, and then you put that in half like this way and just cut the one side, and boom, your skein is in 3 pieces. So yeah, very long. But you'll notice to keep things, what you can't see is there's a couple clips like this off to the side. So all the strings that I'm not using that are on my right go around the end of this kind of little flippy thing. And then same with all the ones on the left. So I'm only left with like the 16 strings that I'm actually working on. So that keeps it so that way I don't have a whole lot of trouble with things getting all tangled up. So, and if you know my saying, yeah, don't get your strings in a bunch. This is how you keep your strings from getting in a bunch, by having them just out of the way and just concentrating on one little area. Way easier. Mind you, okay, so I had a boss many years ago, back when I worked in catering. He told me that I was lazy. And I, just as I was about to become offended, he says, no, 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 I mean that in a good way. You look for ways of doing things easier and smarter, and somehow take mundane tasks and make them better. And like, yeah, this is how I have taken, because this thing's huge. Let me show you. It is. So that's huge, right? If I had all those strings just hanging down, I can assure you that I would have strings getting tangled as well. But by using a couple extra clips on a board, then I can get them off to the side. Now, mind you, that's true even if I'm using a clipboard like this, right? Wait, here, let's. Right? So using a board like this, I can put clips off to the side, and that can hold the strings out of the way, right? So that's an easy way of doing it. But the problem with this is, well, okay, so this is great and it's portable. The drawback is you know, when you set it down or whatever else. Having an easel like this means that you can get up and walk away and come back and everything is exactly how you left it. So that's kind of a plus. And I was wondering if that easel back there would be a good idea or not. That was totally awesome. So, yeah, I am over the top thrilled that I'm helping people with their bigger projects. Um, I kind of I saw in one of the Facebook posts somebody was saying that essentially my channel is about bags or big things, and I kind of that was never my intention to be like that as a channel, but I'm more than happy to help people progress into bigger things. But I would like that if you guys have any kind of bracelet, even if you're like trying to figure out like how to do candy stripes, I have like a video that shows how to get a candy stripe really straight. One of my Patreon followers, John, recently posted on Instagram a really nice candy stripe that he had made, and basically he took the advice that I had in my video, and it came out so picture perfect. He was proud enough, and he's showing it off. So yeah, I mean, it's cool that people can look to me for advice on the bigger stuff, but the same thing with those clips works on smaller things too. If you're doing a single version of this pattern, right? Just one straight little row through here. When you get done with the ones on the right, you can put those tails over around the clip while you concentrate on the left-hand side. You know, just keep having the strings that you're not using out of your way just means that you're not going to have to worry about them being tangled up or getting, you know, just in the way in general. It's super helpful. I left one of my clips on the other board. I was like, why are these strings over here? Oh, yeah. So, cool. I love that I'm inspiring. I love that I'm helping give you guys like little helpful hints and stuff. That's awesome. Oh, shoot. I got all excited. I made the center of this wrong. Huh. See, this is why the drinking game would be entertaining. And my needle that usually there it is. My needle that's usually stuck to my little pen thing wasn't in its place because I didn't put it back where it belongs. So this is how I take out my knots in case you haven't ever seen this before. It's a really big needlepoint needle because they are not sharp. You can kind of poke it into the parts of these knots and bring them right out, and without destroying anything, which is really handy. And then of course I've made a little macrame tail on it, which makes it easier to find it on my desk, because ADHD means I have a ton of things laying out because either I plan to do something with it or I, you know, yeah, it's apparently very ADHD thing to have a messy desk. And when I read that, I'm like, no, really? Okay, yeah, maybe. But yeah. So just take out these few knots, get this thing back on track. Anything else going on out there? It says there's 6 of you guys. Anybody who hasn't said hi, don't be shy. Say hello. Make friends. Ask questions. 7 people. Hello, whoever just showed up. Say hello. Introduce yourself. There we go. Back on track. Yeah, I have a paranoia about making a mistake with this thing. This being as big as it is, I don't want it to be like a hunt for there's a mistake in there somewhere. Can you find it kind of thing. I want it to be perfect. So, really paranoid. That's why I keep checking, like, okay, right? Is that right? Is that right? Yep. But yeah, even I can make mistakes. Yeah, let's do that. Drinking game. Drinking nodding game. Just we should do bracelets and then like do bracelets where you're trying to do something like this and it'll just be like not only will it be psychedelically different, but it'll also be like all bent and yeah. Ooh, vodka. Vodka nice. Kinda had a phase there for a little while in my life. I was doing the spicy Bloody Marys. Oh man, tasty stuff right there. Oh, I'm not even monetized yet, but I'm like already worrying like, wait a second, am I gonna get demonetized for like talking alcohol and stuff? Like, uh-oh. Right, right. Yeah, I can just imagine it. That would be a fun challenge. I think it's well, if I had my choice, it would be scotch. So we got rum, vodka, and let me have a bottle of Drambuie. We'd be good to go. Mind, mind you, once upon a time too, I used to be able to put down the beers pretty good, but that is not the case any longer. Now I'm kind of a cheap date these days. Ah, so this is hilarious. I was all like, what am I going to talk about? And had all my little notes here, how wide this is, all that stuff. We end up talking about bracelet drinking game. Love it. Awesome. That's why live audiences are way more fun. Nice. That's awesome. Like, yeah, I'm not sure about whole mixing different kinds of alcohols, but if you have different kind of alcohols to make mixed drinks with, that's kind of yeah, definitely. That's awesome. Oh man. So back in my 20s, came up with this brilliant idea. I had little bit taller than the Charlie Brown Christmas tree um, that I decorated in the little airplane shot bottles, the little ones. And I don't know how many there were. There were a lot. And I used twist ties to go around the bottle and then make a hook and put them all over the tree. And I put them in front of like all of the lights. So as the lights did their little twinkly thing, that was lighting up these little bottles, and it was like puckers, right? So because puckers comes in all those colors. So my whole tree was completely covered in this shit. And for New Year's, I had a party, and all my friends were pretty excited because that was the day we were going to dismantle the tree. And yeah, just pounding these puckers one after another, just different flavors or grape and whatever. I don't know what they are. But oh man, tanked. Absolutely tanked. That was like, if you've never done this and you want to assure that you'll have help to take down the tree, yeah. Yeah, friends will make it a point to come see you for that one. That was good times. Yeah. I hate those guys. Like 3 minute craft people are insane. It's like, yeah, we can repair it with some ramen noodles and some glue. Like, what the? Ah. But yes, Christmas tree hack. That is it right there. That's yes. Mind you, that was like long before there was any kind of like recording. Like I don't even think I took a photo because like back then you still had to use like um like a regular. Well, I had a webcam, but talk about like seriously low res back then. That was like in the 90s. So yeah, I wish I had a picture to show that. That would have been fun. 3 minute drafts. Nice. Yeah. So to give you an idea how grown up I've become, um, I honestly don't know where to buy the little bottles now. I know where to get my big bottles at, but I don't know. I don't know if they sell the little bottles locally. I would kind of be half tempted to pull that one off again just for the sheer fun of it. But kind of really, to be honest, I kind of not down with the whole Christmas tree thing. It's just, I don't know. I just don't vibe like that anymore. All right, last square on the thing. So that's this one. Cool. Well, no. Okay, so like I know where the bottles are at our grocery store. We go to Fair Price down the street. I know they have regular sized bottles, but I've never seen the tiny ones.
Online.
Oh, internet. Yeah, of course, internet has.
Internet has them.
Right. We could make a whole row in the back here for my backdrop. We could have it all little bottles, and then like if I make a mistake, I have to take one down. That'd be why I want to reward myself for errors. I don't know, but sounds fun. Oh, I don't know. Can you see that? Airplane trolley right here. In case anybody hasn't seen this thing before, I have an airplane trolley full of. I can't. They've got the brakes on. Um, full of embroidery floss and all that other kind of good stuff. So, see right there, almost in view. It was from the check that Donald Trump sent out. I ended up getting me a trolley. And then the check that Biden sent out got me a computer. So, mind you, the computer was a little bit more I had to borrow. So, again, sale over at akaawol.com/shop. Take a look, buy something nice, help me with my gear purchase, because obviously this is working out way better because we're already past an hour and no lags, none of the other horrible drama that we had going last week. So, yay. The only thing we're suffering from today is I'm doing a lot of talking, so I'm just kind of gonna have to keep myself hydrated so as I don't lose my voice. Gonna be lit. Is that a pun? Is that a drinking pun? Uh, it's beginning to look a lot like. uh, so anybody got any more questions? I'm like totally having a lot of fun here. Hopefully you guys are having fun as well. Starkle, little twink, who the hell you are, I think. Uh, yeah, I remember quite the number of drinking games. My foster parents were alcoholics, so we would have drinking games even on school nights, going through case of beer, playing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, once upon a time when I was young. God, now I suddenly feel old. Ouch. Right in the feels. Ah. Oh, I just remembered something else I can do. I haven't played with these yet. Oop, not that one. There we go. So these are my fantastic supporters over on Patreon, and I definitely want to thank all of them because you guys they're the best. So, like I was saying before, if you haven't considered it, maybe you could consider coming over and, for like a cost of a coffee, you could help assure that I have the means by which to keep putting out good videos and stuff. So that would be amazing, amazing, amazing. So kind of trying to get used to see before, I think my computer trying to add extra layers like that, I think I'd have had some problems, but now I can do some neat things, so that's kind of fun, right? So, I'm
Need to add on our birth tax.
I know, right? Oh, I wonder. Yeah, I'll have to talk to what's her name to get the effects because it has to be the WebM thing, and she obviously knew how to do that really well. Yeah, yeah. So this whole new computer thing is going to bring about a whole lot of other stuff. My plan is to test out how to do streams that are strictly for my Patreon people, as well as explore some other like how else I can be able to put together, like useful videos like this, or be able to add, um, like, okay, so I can bring in a picture, right? Like this, but maybe I could bring in like video clips of like how I got things started or how I did the Kumi braid or whatever else. I could bring those in as well and still be able to like talk over it. So there's a whole lot of things planned now that like I have the computer strength to be able to do it. So if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. That would be fantastic. Um, yeah, I mean, it's free, right? It kind of encourages me to see like all of the numbers of that going up. Kind of wanting to see it get to the point where I can finally get YouTube monetized because then the plan is to use that money to at least do bracelet giveaways because right now it costs me like almost like $10 to mail to the US. Right around $10 just to send a bracelet, right? Like even just something like this little bracelet here, which is nice and thin, $10 just to mail it. So, and that's not like the tracking number mailing. That's just put a stamp on it and hope for the best, throw it in the mail thing. So, yeah, it's I don't get a whole lot from the Patreon anymore, like monetarily wise. So it's kind of difficult to do more than the giveaways that I'm already doing with them. But that's right now. Like down the road, if things pick up, I'm all about it. I would love to see my work out there with more people, and I'm all about trying to make that kind of thing happen. So if you guys want, just watching my videos is the start to helping my channel. Because like I said, I'm not even to the halfway point. You need like a lot of watch hours for YouTube before you can become monetized, and I'm not even like halfway there yet. So, um, yeah, just watching the videos helps me. So, and if you guys come up with topics or ideas for videos, I'm down with it. The last video I made was about how I started this on the nice straight edge. So, you know, a good, well-timed question, and suddenly, boom, I got content. So, yay. Oh, and hit the like. If you haven't already, hit the like because um, that does something for the YouTube's algorithm that makes it so that way this goes out in front of more people, which will definitely help because that more people watch, then the sooner we get this monetized, the sooner I do kind of giveaways. Works for us. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Uh, Thank you, Gothic. You are those. Yay. Well, even these live videos, this is like just hanging out for what, been an hour and a half. That definitely, boosts the watch hours by a lot, And like I said, this is way more fun. I have way more fun with a live audience I can interact with than just trying to put together a video. Well, some videos are more fun to put together. Like I had a lot of fun like making my intro for the other videos. I might try to come up with something better for the intros to my live ones. We'll see. It's a lot of work and I'm not sure quite what I'm doing most of the time, but I live and I learn. All right, there we go. I finished this row. I am so pleased with myself. There we go. You guys are the best. You guys are absolutely fantastic. I definitely want to thank all of you guys for everything. You guys have made like even just tonight a heck of a lot of fun. So thank you very much. I think we're going to wrap this up here. Again, I would like to thank my Patreon supporters. You guys are the best. You have this camera right here is an example of how Patreon helped make this a better thing for me. So there we go. So thank you guys for all of that. Trying to think what other stuff I usually sign out with. All right, well, basically just don't get your strings in a bunch. Thank you for watching all this way. You guys are the best. And let's do this again next week. All right, I'll see you Saturday, 10 p.m. Singapore time. So figure I don't know what time that is for you guys, but yeah, same time next week.